to say that today's guest is on the line. Robert Plant, good morning. How are you? Where are you today?
Good morning, Lauren. Yeah, I'm in London. Busy Beaver.
Yes.
I'm just heading out to a record store I'm just after new records and some old ones too.
Oh, really?
Vinyl,
What are you hoping to pick up
Christmas vinyl.
today? Christmas vinyl. Okay.
Yeah, but not Christmas songs. I mean, there's a lot of reissues from classic blues records from the early 60s, John Lee Hooker, Jimmy Reed, all that sort of thing. So, yeah, I think I'm heading for rough trade, see what I can find down Brick Lane.
Oh, man, restocking your record shelves. Well, the trumpets have sounded. They're going to be rolling out the red carpet for you. So, Robert...
Well, it's not so much for me, it's for my friends, because there's not... Record stores are few and far between, but when you can find them and they've got so much choice, it's magnificent.
Well, this brings us very nicely to the new album that you've created. You've reunited with Alison Krauss after Raising Sand. That was 14 years ago, unbelievably, and you are now going to raise the roof. Why was it the right time to get back together and work?
Well, it wasn't that it was the right time. We just never had a time at all. I think that perhaps when Raising Sand reached its conclusion, it was time to just back off a bit. It had been quite exhausting, but exhilarating. But I think we tried initially to go straight back into another album, and then I think we just realized we had to give it a little bit of a break. But then, what do you do then? You end up, each of us took our individual, go back to our original sort of concepts of what we were doing before, and then it was trying to find a window in between that and what we were doing. And so when I was free, she was still busy with Union Station, and then with the Sensational Spaceshifters, we were traveling all over the place. So it was when the first window arrived, and that was more or less, I guess, Halloween 2019.
Yeah.
My tour came to an end in San Francisco at the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass, and she was just finishing too. So then we got together, and it was really strange because you never really think that you've got anything to live up to or compete with or carry on from. And people say to me when I've been doing promotion for this project is, are you expecting the same success and all that stuff? But the success has been really the fact that we did it, and we did it with more conviction probably, because we know each other better, So it's been really, really fantastic.
Yeah, and I know that Alison described it as an education because, a little bit like you going to the record store today to pick up albums for your friends. This is, some fantastic songwriters and covers in the mix, as well as, the original composition that we heard just a few moments ago. How did you decide what to include, and what did you enjoy introducing Alison to? Because she found it thrilling, she said.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, there's such a huge, landscape of songs that have had their moment, or maybe they didn't even have their moment. And I think they can be brought forward and reimagined. And I think that's the whole principle of our project is with the aid of T-Bone Burnett, whose production skills go from, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, across to, working with Dylan, and remarkable that we get together and we try and breathe a different kind of life into this stuff. And that's the key really to the whole game.
Yeah.
Just exchanging ideas. What do you think? And what did I really want to bring to it? I thought that I've always been quite obsessed by American music, both black and white. The whole deal of American music it being a kind of new world. There's so many different forces and different nationalities that go to make up local music in Texas or Alabama or whatever it is. And I wanted to bring British music into it. So I introduced the Bert Jansch song.
Yeah, It Don't Bother Me. So wonderful to hear that in there.
Yeah, it's so pretty. And, Go Your Way, My Love was another song to bring to. And it's kind of interesting because if I'd never been a musician working through America, I would never have really known so much about or learnt, as I continue to do, the music of America, the music of the hills, the valleys, the maybe even Mississippi Hill Country, which is totally different again. That's kind of, and the same goes for these guys. The Americans had no idea really about Bert Jansch. And ironically, he was in Pentangle, who actually used to play the Fillmore East and West in America, and they were happening. But then you have to think about chronology, and you realize that Alison is considerably younger than me, so she would never have actually tuned into all that stuff.
I know. Well, unless you grew up with it like I did, certainly with Pentangle and Bert and Anne Briggs and all the rest. Yeah. But it's interesting how that, like you say, that sort of Appalachian, the bluegrass, the blues, and then this kind of British folk sensibility, it all sort of sits together so beautifully. Yeah. There is a resonance between those genres, no matter how historically, geographically, musically diverse they are.
Well, that's true. Yeah, and the black and white. It's funny when you hear songs like, and you realize that they've interchanged between the two cultures almost, I wouldn't say seamlessly, because the white Appalachian musicians were playing St. James Infirmary, and down in New Orleans you've got Louis Armstrong singing it with these, whatever it was. So it's great that songs do live through time, and they switch seamlessly, really, from culture to culture. So it's something else. Yeah, and a lot of the music in America, in the hills, and comes from Europe anyway. I mean, there's a lot of Scots and Irish and English influence and the songs themselves come, a lot of them, from this, the western edge of Europe.
Yeah, and fantastic to kind of have some of those influences, as you say, recalibrated, reimagined on this new record. Robert, I want to ask about your radio adventures, because there's going to be a huge Christmas gift to Six Music listeners this year. You're going to be presenting our festive takeover, 22nd of December, 10:30 a.m. What can you tell us?
Well, I tell you that originally I was sort of a little bit scared of the idea of having 2.5 hours of music and chat, because where would you begin and where would you end? What era of my appreciation of music can I go to? And the answer is, you'd have to end up doing a summer season to actually get somewhere near the stuff that I really like right across the board. So it was a tough call, and I think in many respects I haven't really even touched the sides of my appreciation of music yet on that program. But I have played some ridiculously unusual stuff, I think, and stuff that's spurred me on and inspired me through time. So, it's not bad for a start.
I mean, please do more. You said it's a bit of a long-held ambition to have some radio adventures. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's just, how many times did you ever have people round and then you open your record player, or you start getting vinyl out of the racks and say, and what about this very, very early Neil Young track? Or what about this over here from, I don't know, Rick James? And then in the end you end up choreographing and creating your own DJ moment when people come around to see you. Yeah. And then you have to wake them up because they've fallen asleep and you're still playing stuff. So it is an extension of what I would do. Well, it's obsessively, normally say, listen to this. And
this is the problem. So, it's addictive. You start doing it and then you'll be back for more. Fingers crossed. We'd absolutely love to have you, but we're so excited about that.
Cool. And I'd love to do that.
And I know that you're going to be in the UK on tour next year. You're going to be doing a London date. You said that, you live for that moment of going out on stage, and so does Alison. How does it feel to have those tour dates out there for next summer?
Well, it's been a long wait, and never mind the 14 years in between releasing, of recording and putting out records. The idea of finally making it work on stage with a group, it's a different thing to recording. And fortunately, I know what it's going to sound like, because I was in Nashville a couple of weeks ago and we did quite a lot of late night TV stuff which is live. Mm-hmm. So, so I could see how it was shaping up as a live show, and it's going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah. Well,
I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I mean, I've been singing in groups since I was about 15, and it's the thing that I really love to do, along with, you know, just trying to stay alive is another good one, but, you know,
Same.
I'm walking the dog and watching the football, but, and telling lies. Yeah, so I can't really wait to get moving with her. And she's great company. She's very funny, and she's right on the ball, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Funny being in a partnership because it's been a while since I have been.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you know. So I listen to her a lot. She talks a lot of sense, but she's also quite hysterically funny at times. I can't shut her up, and she starts laughing and going off the clock.
You're going to have a blast next year, Robert. I know that you said you're an adventurer at heart. You've got so many adventures to look forward to in 2022. Thank you so much for telling us about them. It's been a real pleasure.
Oh, it's a great pleasure to talk to you. Yeah. I mean, it sounds all very serious and stuff, but let's face it, if it was that tough and that serious, I wouldn't be doing it. It's got to be fun, and that's what it will be.
Lots and lots of love to you, Robert, and thank you so much in advance for Six Music's festive takeover. Is it too early to say Merry Christmas? But Merry Christmas when you get there.
Okay, yeah, let's wait until we get there. It's the way to go, yes.
Well, I will say happy record shopping instead. I'll let you go and enjoy that.
Cool, much love to you. See you
Take care.
soon. Take
Lots of
care.
love.
Thanks for your
Bye.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye.